Don't worry, everyone. Stephanie has seen all of the sex scenes now.
Yeah, dude, there's no way I'm missing out on this aspect of the experience. Yeah, Keith's like, you want to play this visual novel with me? I'm like, only if you could guarantee me some rock hard dick. It's a part of our contractual obligations.
For a while, I just wander. I end up pacing the halls of the palace before going outside to sit in the gardens. I don't see anyone. It's weirdly calm outside, especially considering that the Emperor could be decided tomorrow. I wonder how things are in the city, and the rest of the Empire. I look out toward the faint city skyline, glinting gently in the afternoon light. Amicus doesn't come after me. Should he? I said such horrible things to him. But even now, I feel like I had to say them. I'm tired of being treated like an actual pet, and now that I might actually become one. Still, I kind of wish he did come after me again. I do believe that he was only trying to protect me, and that he thought what he was doing was the only way to do that. But after everything on the beach, after I've already told him to just keep me in the loop, honestly, if he just asked me about it first, even just told me about it, I probably would have been okay with it. Sure, maybe a little jealous, but okay. I realize that a lot of this anger is because I just feel betrayed, and I feel that way because I really, really like Amicus. I'd expected him to treat me better after everything. The late afternoon heat is making me sweat, but instead of going inside, I just move under some shade. After a while, I laid back on the bench I'm sitting on, drifting off to sleep. You're gonna get a sunburn?
Yeah, dude, not a good idea.
Never. I'm afraid of sleeping outside ever.
I fell asleep
because of that.
Like in Santa Cruz on like a cloudy day, which, by the way, everyone, like the cloudy days are actually the worst days to be out in the sun because of the way like the light refracts off the clouds. It actually makes your sunburn worse.
Does it really?
Yeah.
Weird.
I mean, I think there's like nuances to that. Like if it's completely overcast, you're probably not getting fucking sunburnt. But
is it time for like big hats to come back into fashion just to stop all the skin cancer?
I've been rocking baseball caps a lot because gotta protect the goods, just the face at least. My arms and legs be all wrinkled, but just keep that youthful face. Just confuse everyone.
Also, if you're wearing shouldered shirts, then like everything else just is way less likely to burn. It's like just your head.
Yeah, I mean, definitely keep nose, ears, shoulders. I've got my feet sunburnt quite a lot.
Oh.
Just, wearing like flip-flops.
Yeah, I didn't think about that because I wear shoes.
Legs have gotten really sunburnt before. When I fell asleep on the beach, I had my legs crossed. And so I woke up with like a gigantic, like very white girl stripe across my thigh where my other leg was resting on top of it. And it was there for, honestly, a solid year. Just because the tan line came in, it just was there.
Wow.
And I don't tan on purpose. I didn't go out and fix it. I just it's fine, everyone. I'm just
going to have a stripe on my leg for a year.
Yeah, my uncle saw the skin peeling, and he's like, man, I really want to peel the skin on your legs.
No.
And I was like, ew, gross, don't say that.
My leg's taking a leap year.
I mean, I think COVID's made a bunch of people very, very pale.
Yeah.
I'm taking vitamin D now because my doctor said I have to, which I'm pretty sure is from me not going out and doing stuff during COVID.
Oh. When I wake up, it takes a while to realize where I am. Oh, I don't know if there's anywhere to go from there.
Baby's in Reno with a vitamin D.
Takes me a while to realize where I am. I stare at the flowers and leaves, gently lit up by the garden lights, until I remember that I'd fallen asleep there. Groggily, I call out to Calm, and according to him, I've only been out for about 2 hours, but the sun here always moves fast across the sky. I brush a few leaves off my robes and get up and walk toward the palace, realizing at this point I can't exactly avoid going back to Amicus' room forever. At least it'll force us to talk about things after we've cooled down. At least, I hope he's cooled down. My pace starts to slow as I get closer to his bedroom, unsure what to say after everything that happened. I decide I'm going to apologize, but also expect an apology from him as well. We both made mistakes, but we could get past this if we talked it out. Dinner is still sitting next to the door on its cart, untouched. I pause, my hand hovering over the panel, remembering what I saw the last time I opened this door. Shuddering, I steel myself and press it.
He gets flashbacks every time he opens the door now.
Yeah. The room's empty. No wolf in sight. Cold air creeps out of the room, chilling my bare calves as I continue to stand in the hallway. I realized then that I was holding in my breath, and I let it out slowly. I look up and down the hall in case I might see Amicus, but as always, it's empty. With a soft sigh, I slowly walk in toward the bed before changing direction to sit on the sofa instead. Com had told me it was the 18th hour, which means Amicus should be getting ready for bed by now, a schedule he follows almost religiously. Maybe he's getting ready for the trial somehow. That would be good, but I'm also getting the uncomfortable feeling that he's just avoiding me. That would be bad, because despite what happened, he shouldn't be thinking at all about me. He could be the Emperor tomorrow. So I sit there, hugging a pillow, waiting. After a while, I grab the food from the hallway and manage to eat a little bit. I wonder if I should save some for Amicus, but decide that he'd be able to get his own food from the kitchens instead of these cold leftovers if he ends up returning. So I send the rest back with the drones and continue waiting. After a few hours, Amicus still hasn't come back, and I end up laying down on the sofa, waiting to fall asleep. The sound of the door opening jolts me awake, and I quickly sit up, turning to look. Amicus? I stare at the jackal for a moment, feeling a sudden surge of anger in my chest.
Hello, Marco. Are you not coming to the trial?
I look around. What time is it?
The 7th hour, which means the trial starts in less than an hour.
Where's Amicus?
Preparing for the trial.
He hasn't been back all night.
He was meditating most of the night.
All night?
Indeed.
I frown at the jackal. What do you want? Neferu walks further into the room slowly, before stopping in the middle, a good 15 feet away.
To escort you to the trial, if you'd like. And to also talk.
About what?
I've already told you that you don't need to play stupid with me, Marco.
I sit up straight, turning to face the jackal more directly. I'm not. I'm just wondering why the fuck you would have the nerve to show up here after taking advantage of Amicus like that.
What?
I don't think I've ever seen Neferu caught off guard. So the sight is kind of funny.
Yeah, it's the first time we've seen that face.
Yeah. I smirk.
Well, that's certainly a way to look at it.
What other way is there to look at it?
Plenty, if you'll let me explain.
I sit back on the sofa, crossing my arms. Amicus already explained. I bet I become your pet to protect me from Cassius, and in exchange for that, you make him fuck you in the ass. Again, the jackal looks shocked. Then he laughs, the sound high and soft.
Oh dear, there are many ways to look at this, aren't there?
His suddenly cheerful mood irritates me. Listen, I honestly don't want any part of this.
Yes, but you are already a part of it, whether you want to be or not. So please, allow me to explain some things.
I don't say anything, keeping my arms folded, my expression bored. The jackal seems to take that as his cue to continue.
Amicus approached me about this deal a week ago, shortly after the incident with Cassius. It seemed simple enough, and I had to agree with him. Your position in this power struggle is becoming ever more precarious.
I raise an eyebrow. How so?
The rumors about Cassius's intent to disband the triumvirates have saturated the trial, even though Cato has banned all discussion of it. Word is that Cassius has realized who might have started the rumors.
Neferu looks pointedly at me, though I try to keep my expression neutral.
This has implications for you, obviously, but not only because you possibly sabotage his chances at the throne.
I feel my stomach turn a little, realizing I've gotten myself into way more than I'd ever intended.
This also brings into question your intelligence. Far too intelligent for a simian, wouldn't you say?
I open my mouth, but Neferu goes on.
Now, with all of this considered, It was only natural for Amicus to come to me for help. Your life is in danger, Marco, no matter the facade these peaceful palace halls might project.
I stare at the jackal, surprised at how candid he's being with me.
He asked me what I wanted most, and I answered truthfully. An alliance with the wolves if Amicus were to become emperor. Of course he declined outright, as he should have as a prospective emperor. How could he promise something so important with so many implications, all over one pet? So knowing that was impossible, I offered something a bit more selfish on my part, copulation with the handsome son of a wolven emperor. To this, he only needed a few moments to agree.
I grimace.
But I want you to understand something, Marco. If Amicus had found even that disagreeable, I would have simply asked for nothing. It is the duty of all Chemians to protect any sapient fleeing wolven violence, whether they be sibling, child, or abandoned. Pet ownership is illegal where I'm from, and the idea is quite disgusting, don't you agree?
Neferu glances at me.
But wolves love their contracts, and no matter how different Amicus might wish himself to be, he is still a wolf. He despises the idea that he might owe something to a Chemian. And his quickness to accept the deal showed me that despite how much he wanted to not want to fuck me, as you put it, there was such a part of him that did. In the end, he was willing.
I look away, frowning.
And I think this is something that has caused a rift between the two of you. You must understand that sex is casual here. It means nothing more than indulging in your corporeal desires. It's one of the few cultural similarities we share with the wolves. I've been told that simians are more similar to cats, in that such things hold much more meaning, but you are no longer on Simia, and must understand that things are different here. Even if he wants to, which I believe he does, Amicus can't change his philosophy over the course of a single week.
I finally find a room to speak. You're acting like we're in a relationship or something.
You aren't, but you want to be. Amicus loves you. It's clear as Vita, as they say here.
I feel that little thrill in my chest, and my face blushes furiously. Neferu goes on like he didn't actually just say that, though.
So yes, if you don't like the idea of Amicus fucking another man, then claim him as your own man.
I frown. Claim?
I'm going by wolven terms here. I'm sure you have your own.
Did Neferu just ask me to ask Amicus out?
Now, does that clear things up for you?
Even though I just woke up, I already feel exhausted. I guess. There was a little more to it than that, though.
Which I'm sure can be settled in the future. Civil discussions can do wonders. Now, we really must be getting to the trial. If you're wanting to go?
Neferu raises an eyebrow at me. I find myself shaking my head, but not to deny the jackal his request. Rather, it's because I don't know what the hell this guy's up to. I get up and Neferu offers his arm to me, which I stare at.
Shall I escort you?
This is something I see the jackal do multiple times to Virginia and Alex. For some reason, he really does seem to enjoy escorting people around. After his little lecture, I can tell he's trying to smooth things over between me and Amicus. So, reluctantly, I reach out and take his arm in both hands, if only to please him. And pleased he seems to be. Tugging at the corner of his muzzle makes me think he's trying not to smile too much. He guides me out the door. I find myself feeling out the fur on his arm. It's much more silky and smooth compared to Amicus, not quite as fluffy. It's not as nice as Amicus's coat, but does feel nice in a different way.
Yeah, he's like a flat-coated dog, as opposed to like a wolfy, husky dog.
He doesn't have layers.
Yeah.
It's like Kiki.
Kiki versus Birch the husky. I like the fluffy fur, but too much shedding. It's such a pain.
It's a lot of shedding. But it feels weird when you pet a dog that doesn't have that much fur.
Yeah, no, like I said, Kiki feels like a naked...
Are you a hairy man?
Her look doesn't say no.
There's a lot of muscle there, too. And I wonder if the jackal works out in the amphitheater, though I've never seen him there. I mean, he obviously works out. You don't need to feel that.
Yeah, I was gonna say, do you see his titties? He's like very quick to point them out all the time.
Yeah, literally sometimes.
He grabs his opposite arm on purpose just to squeeze them together just a little bit.
Yeah. I guess I can see why so many people are into this guy, if muscles are your thing. As we continue through the halls, I notice we're taking a different route than the one to the throne room. Where are we going?
To meet the star of the most asinine entertainment show in the galaxy. What better way to determine the fate of all things, siblings and parents alike, than through meaningless, woven spectacle?
What? Neferu pauses in front of a door, gently pulling away from me while his paw is held delicately up to the panel.
What I'm saying is that quite a bit is depending on your wolf right now, and you might need some encouragement.
I'm still staring at the jackal when he finally presses the panel, opening the door. When I look back, I find myself looking into a much smaller room, simple and bare, just a bed and a dresser. The air is thick with the calming smell of incense as it creeps into the hallway and washes over me in a warm wave. And there, sitting on the bed, is Amicus. Before I can look back at Neferu, the wolf suddenly looks up. We both stare at each other for a moment. Then the wolf is suddenly on his feet, stumbling towards me. He stops himself halfway across the room, though, paws clasped in front of himself. I've never seen him so disheveled before. His fur is stuck all over his neck and shoulders, his cape is askew, his eyes are red and bleary. Before I know it, I'm walking into the room towards the wolf. Are you okay? Amicus tries to smooth his fur down, but it sticks right back up. I'm fine. I was just meditating. You look awful. Isn't the trial in less than an hour? Yes. There's a moment of silence that goes by as I just stare at the wolf. Are you going, then? You should get ready. Marco. I stop, waiting. The pause is long, and when Amicus finally speaks, his voice is so quiet I can barely hear it. I don't think I was meant for this. My heart sinks. Meant for what? Everything in this damned empire. I've done absolutely nothing right. Everything has been handed to me on a platter my entire life, but the first time I actually have to fight for something. I know you don't think I took this seriously, but I did. I tried. I wasn't prepared and you were right. I see a little wetness around his eyes, but he aggressively wipes at them with his arm. While weeks ago I might have welcomed this epiphany, this is the absolute worst moment for it. I couldn't even keep my best friend. I would have been a terrible emperor. It takes me a moment to realize he's talking about me. Amicus. I'm sorry. I'm sorry I didn't tell you everything, that I treated you poorly, that I got you into this stupid mess in the first place, and that I can't get you out of it. The wolf's voice catches on the last part, and I wonder with some astonishment if I'm actually going to see him cry. But he manages to hold it together, looking down at the floor. I just wanted to do what was best for you, but I wasn't thinking of you while I did it. I was inconsiderate, and I'm sorry. It's like he's Lego-shing. Just the entire, that's how he behaves the entire manga.
Yeah.
Amicus stands there, or apparently finished. I don't know if this is more about me, or about him feeling inadequate for the emperorship. I have no doubt that our little fight yesterday caused it, though. Seeing the wolf like this, it hurts, but also makes me kind of angry. This isn't the Amicus I know. I reach up, setting a hand on his shoulder, and he suddenly looks up at me. You're less than an hour away from becoming emperor. You need to act like it. What? You think your dad would have acted like this when he wasn't sure of himself? Your grandfather, Drusus? There's a time and a place, and now is not the time. I don't know if they would have, but I'm grasping at straws at this point. And honestly, this is about a lot more than you, or me, or anyone here. This is the lives of millions of sapiens. About your entire empire. You think it all deserves to go to shit because suddenly you're not so sure of yourself? You're such a good person. basically the opposite of what the society is, and you want to put it and you want to put that into your rule. That's amazing. But now you're suddenly willing to give it up? What the fuck is wrong with you? Yeah, you made a bunch of mistakes, but that doesn't matter now. What matters is that you make sure that piece of shit brother of yours doesn't take the throne. You'd better get your ass out there and beat the hell out of him in that stupid debate. I'm not sure what else to say, so I stop, breathing hard. After a moment, I realize that the wolf is smiling at me, and it takes me a moment to calm down from my Hollywood movie pep talk.
Yeah, that was a good pep talk.
What?
He built him up, he gave him a compliment, but also addressed that he has flaws, and then put a little
and also
fire
just yelled
under his
at him
ass.
a lot.
Yeah, a fire under his ass.
I am going out there, Marco. There's no doubt about that. I was just having a moment. I was trying to be more honest with you. But thank you. I frown. Well, you sure picked a hell of a moment to have it. I know. I've just been having a terrible time after yesterday is all. I needed to apologize to you. I deflate a little, but there's some relief there too, seeing Amicus somewhat back to his old self. I forgive you, but this is a lot bigger than us right now. I know it is, and what I'm feeling is a lot bigger than us as well. The wolf sets a paw on my shoulder. But I'm honest about what I said. I'm sorry, and I will never do anything involving you without your consultation again. And I will take your cultural differences into better consideration in the future. I look at Amicus, at his earnest face, and find myself hugging him, and he hugs back tightly. We still need to talk about things, but we can do that later. You need to kick Cassius's ass first. I know.
Cassius Assius.
Cassius. It's just I'm like second guessing every time I have to say it out loud.
I feel like Amicus should have included that slur in his campaign.
More like Assius.
Cassius, more like Assius. He would have just won right there. Everyone was like, "Oh my gosh, I never thought of that before. We can't have our emperor be named Cassius. It sounds too much like Assius.
His name's too stupid. It sounds too much like another word in a language we don't speak." Devastating.
Whoops, my plan was a bit flawed. I forgot about that part.
It's doomed from the start. Amicus pulls back, both paws on my shoulders now. And I will. There's a gentle clearing of a throat behind us, and we both look back to see Neferu casually lounging in the doorway. He was still there. Well, that's awkward.
If you're finished, the trial begins in 30 minutes.
Immediately, Amicus scowls at the sight of the jackal, but he nods. I'd better be going then. So you're feeling better now? Much better, thanks to you. I smile as I feel a wave of relief, even though this is just like Amicus to be so easily cheered up. I allow the wolf to pull me toward the door. Neferu moves out of the way as we exit the stifling meditation room. Alright, I'm on my way to a shower. I'll be watching. The rhetoric thing, I mean. Not the shower.
I mean, I can come to the shower too for emotional support if you want.
I'll look for you, and we'll talk after this? Yeah, we'll talk after your emperor. Alright. Amicus leans in to kiss me on the lips, then pauses before planting it on my cheek instead. With that, he winks, then turns and dashes up the hall, running at a full sprint. I hear a soft chuckle behind me.
Well, that went rather well. I didn't think that would be half as easy.
I glance back at the jackal, as he basically reveals he's been planning this all along. I guess it was obvious.
Shall we head to the throne room? They'll be wanting us sitting down early so they can film us. The whole thing is a dreary spectacle, after all.
All right. With that, I follow the jackal toward the throne room, hoping that what I had said to Amicus was enough to get him in the right headspace to help him win. In a few hours, I'll know if I'll be leaving soon, or staying for a long, long time. Either way, I'm just glad that this happened. I follow Neferu to the throne room, the cavernous space just as empty as it was during the first trial. Like the first trial, though, a few of the palace regulars are sitting on the benches, Virginia on the left side of the room, while Alex sits on the right. The cat is sat alone, looking tiny compared to the rest of the room, his tail curled neatly under his paws in his lap. He smiles when he sees me, and I make as if to go sit next to him, but that's when the jackal grabs my hand. I pause, and I see Alex's own inquisitive look before I turn to Neferu. What?
Why don't we give Virginia some company?
She hasn't been voiced for a while. The jackal smiles at me gently, one of his ears flicking in the direction of the she-wolf. You can. I was going to sit with Alex. Neferu's expression doesn't change, but he doesn't let go either, and his voice takes on a gentle but ominous tone, making me feel a little uncomfortable.
Depending on how this trial goes, we may have some business to take care of before it officially ends. It would be best if you are close to me.
Oop. It's then that I realize what he's getting at. Although I don't know what the process of becoming Neferu's pet is, I imagine it involves some sort of official business, like signing something.
I don't know. I don't think he's talking about that. I think he's talking about some more ominous shit might go down.
Yeah. Ooh, is it getting darker? No? Yes?
I don't think so.
Nope, I imagine that.
Yeah, I was going to say.
I was like, I was having one of those moments where it looks like something's changing, but it's also not. I don't know how to put that.
Maybe like Neferu is like so dark that like looking at him for so long like made the rest like you like when he disappeared
like
it was an
my
eye
eyes started adjusting and so it made the room like it was getting darker. Like I thought it was transitioning to like the nighttime scene we saw I think in this room. Did we? There's definitely day and night versions of a lot of the places.
I don't remember seeing a night version of this one.
I'm trying to remember if we saw it with the lights off or not.
Oh
yeah, no, because we did a dance.
Oh yeah, that was
yeah.
that was in the evening. Yeah,
yeah, it was dark and well, they tinted the glass, so they could have spotlights. So I give Alex a little frown and shrug, gesturing at the jackal. The cat continues to look confused as I turn away and follow Neferu to the benches on the other side of the room.
Neferu?
Virginia sits daintily on the bench, one leg elegantly crossed over the other, as she holds up a paw, which the jackal kisses.
Good day to you, Virginia.
Even though I try to stay behind Neferu, Virginia peers around the jackal's muscular side to stare straight at me.
I see that you've brought a guest.
She holds out her paw again, and it takes me a moment to realize that I should kiss it. I did start that trend after all.
Hey, look what you did. Indeed, Amicus requested I keep him company during the trial.
As I come up from the paw kissing, I see Virginia frowning.
My brother shouldn't be burdening you with a silly chore like that. The pet is capable of staying in his room, I imagine. It was a mutual agreement. Besides, he is rather good company once you get to know him. Oh, really? It seems like our little simian is full of surprises.
The she-wolf looks pointedly at me, but I don't have much time to wonder what she's talking about before Neferu is sitting down next to her, pulling me to his side to sit next to him.
That would be an accurate observation.
There's a momentary pause before I see Virginia lean forward a bit out of the corner of my eye. When she speaks again, her voice is lowered.
So the rumors are true?
Does Bruno Mars is gay? I can't get over any time the rumors are true comes up.
Is that a thing?
Oh.
Dude, I
got more to share later. There's another pause, this time from Neferu.
Does Bruno Mars is gay?
Does Bruno Mars is gay? The rumor is out.
I don't believe I'm in a position to speculate on whether Bruno Mars is gay. It is not my place to involve myself in woven politics.
Virginia laughs softly, one that sounds completely fake.
I'm not a fool, Neferu. I may enjoy your suave tactics, but I'd rather you not use them against me. I would not dream of such a thing, Virginia. Surely.
Virginia shifts again, and now I know for sure that she's looking directly at me.
So, I suppose he understands what we're saying then. Well, he is sapient, and he does possess a lingua. I mean, he understands us.
Virginia puts even more emphasis on the word. I see Neferu looking at the floor, still smiling, though his paws seem to clasp each other a bit tighter than usual.
You know better than I, being a wolf. Our children are as intelligent as ourselves, so I'm used to such an idea. Don't feign ignorance, Neferu. You've been around him far more than I have. It's a simple question, and one that you should answer honestly. Otherwise, am I to assume that you've brought a little spy to our conversation?
Although the words seem harsh and dangerous, Virginia's tone is light, and Neferu just laughs.
You, you accuse me of deception, yet we both know you've already figured out the answer. Why do you feign ignorance?
The wolf fans herself with an air of nonchalance.
It's the best weapon in discourse, and it is easy to feign stupidity, at least for me. It is expected on my part.
Oh.
Damn. And why would you say something like that? I have a vagina, Neferu.
It takes me a moment to absorb what Virginia just said, but Neferu is already chuckling with what's probably the first genuine laugh of the conversation. I see Alex looking over at us, and this time it looks like his eyes are narrowed a bit. It takes the jackal a few seconds to get himself under control, again as Virginia continues to wave her fan, looking rather pleased with herself.
Sorry, I'm not used to bluntness here. It's not impossible for us to be blunt on this moon, Neferu, especially amongst friends.
I notice the wolf is looking at me again, and once again I look down.
Anyway, it seems we made quite the mistake in overlooking Simia. I may have to do a little research of my own in the archives. Amicus clearly knew something that we did not.
That's not good.
Yeah, don't look into it. Don't look into it.
Research? I feel my stomach drop. Although Amicus had assured me of things, I don't even know if I really look like a simian. All it might take is a picture to know that I'm not actually from Simia. I try to put that out of my mind for now, as the doors suddenly open and Kato walks in, making his way quickly to the throne. Virginia finally takes her eyes off me, and I can only hope that she's not going to follow through with her research plans. The throne room is quiet, and I hear the old wolf grunt as he makes his way up the stairs before turning to face us. After a few seconds, he sits down, his heavy, muscular body slouched a bit in the seat, gazing out at us through his visor. A few more moments pass in silence, and just as I'm wondering if the trial is about to begin, I hear a soft mechanical whirring sound as the panel in the ceiling opens up. A dozen camera drones drift down lazily, fanning out in the air to position themselves in various locations throughout the room. One of them floats towards us and just hovers above our heads, the lens seeming to focus on my face. I drop my head again, the action having become second nature since I landed on the moon. Neferu nudges me, though.
Come now. Amicus brought you here to be seen.
His tone is light, as always, but I sense he's not saying that just to tease me. We're playing a role here, and my role is to make Amicus look good, to show off to the triumvirates that he went to great lengths to obtain an exotic, fascinating alien pet. I might not like it, but that doesn't matter right now, so I lift my head. Instead of the dumb, vacant gaze that I've been using the past month, I go with a completely straight face.
Watch the red light on the top of the drone. When it turns green, know that you are being broadcast. The second trial will begin in 10 seconds.
And those 10 seconds will take until
next episode.